Good morning, everyone. I want to call Health and Human Development Committee to order on January the 25th at 9 o'clock a.m. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Vollmer, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Schweitzer,
Present.
Alderwoman Sanye, Chair Boyd,
Present.
Alderman Vollmer, Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Sanye. We have two present.
Thank you so much. Again, I'll call the meeting to order, and we cannot approve the minutes because we do not have a quorum. We don't have any boards for bills for review or resolutions. So our discussion this morning is the illegal dumping, and everybody in attendance is very much aware of the challenges that we are having as a city in regards to the environmental issues that are impacting our communities. And I brought the speakers in because the environmental impact that it's having on people in our community has been long going, but it also has a greater impact on the employees that have to remove that and that are a part of trying to clean it up. And then our EIU unit that is really pushing to try to find and the people and find them for the dumping that they're doing. Contrary to people's beliefs, some people think it's all county people that are coming in, but it's really not. It's people within our community are actually doing it also. So I want that to be clear. It's not all just county people, and it's all not just construction or those people. It is people within our community. And I think education and empowering people to know what the guidelines are in regards to refuge and dumping and where they can go dump is a big issue that we need to really push and send a message out. So on that note, Alderwoman Schweitzer, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Thank you for having the conversation. I agree that it's incredibly important, and I look forward to hearing from our speakers.
Hey, thank you. So I'll have Miss Bethany Williams with Streets to go first, ladies first. So if you would like to speak on this in regards to dumpings and the challenges that you all are having and what you are trying to do in the plan and goals that you have to try to address it more aggressively.
No problem. Thank you, Alderwoman and Chairman of the committee, for this opportunity to come before you all and speak about illegal dumping in the city of St. Louis and what the Streets Department Refuge Division is doing to improve some of these services that we're seeing. So first of all, when we first started, when I first started here, going on 2 years now, or 3 years now, we saw a lot of, we were coming out of a pandemic, and we saw an increase in illegal dumping, even more because we had more people that were in their homes almost 24 hours a day, if not 24 hours, 7 days a week. And because of that, we saw an increase in the amount of trash service or trash that was being put out. We saw an increase in people doing remodeling projects, an increase in people moving old furniture, old things out of their apartments, as well, or of their homes, as well as we saw a decrease in our employment population as well. So those are two things. How do we get back on schedule? Because currently the city of St. Louis Refuse Division, we have bulk pickup service across the city, and you can go on the city website and identify when your ward has bulk pickup service or your area has bulk pickup service, and when clear definition of what should be put out, when it should be put out, for bulk pickup service. So that's one piece, making sure the education side of it, we understand when bulk pickup should happen and what is bulk pickup. The second thing is knowing that we allow dumping at our transfer station. So you can go to South Refuse Station, and that information is listed on the website as well on First Street, and you can do dumping there as well as up north. We have a transfer station that they will accept dumping as well. And so those are two main things that we feel are very important that we kind of opened up for city residents. You show your ID and you get you're able to dump because you are a city resident. And that will help us get a lot of the legal dumping and off of the streets that we're seeing. The other problem is that we're having people are what's considered illegal dumping and what's considered bulk trash dumping. Because there is a difference. Bulk trash service is when you put something behind your home to be picked up for bulk pickup on those days. Illegal dumping is when you go 2-3 blocks down or 5 miles over and you're dumping. Or we see commercial dumping, people with commercial businesses, they're doing dumping in alleys where they're not paying for that type of service with their private companies. So they're dumping it, and we as a city are having to go out and pick some of these or pick these items up. As well as you have people that are you have contractors, you have people just driving through the city, and they see the amount of dumpsters that we have out, and they know, okay, I can do dumping here at different times. What we're doing to correct all of those actions: one, we are making sure that we are staffed up. We have increased our staffing numbers, and this week, actually, we are 2 weeks behind on our bulk pickup for trash service. And on the south side and on the north side, I think it's like 1 week behind because of the quantity that we're seeing. We're able to get more of it done, and we're having more bulk trash crews that are able to go out and do some of these routine pickups that we're seeing across the city. I think that when we report illegal dumping to CSB, we know what it is. Is it illegal dumping, or is it just your bulk pickup is a week late? And so that's one of the things that I'm trying to dive into the details of. What are we reporting it right? Are our residents educated enough to report what's illegal dumping and what's bulk pickup? Because the trash service may just be off a week or 2 weeks. And so now you're reporting it as illegal dumping, and really it's just routine bulk pickup. We have ARPA dollars that we have secured that we are purchasing more cameras, and I will allow Zimmerman to speak more on that about what that task force is doing and how we're moving in those operations. But just to speak high level about what we have done and what we're doing moving forward. So we have ARPA dollars that we will replace and add additional cameras to the city of St. Louis to help us with catching people that are doing some of these illegal dumping actions. So we are in the process now of putting a second order of cameras in, as well as different equipment to help this team be more efficient and do the work, the hands-on work that they're needing to do on a daily basis as it comes to illegal dumping. I don't want to steal his thunder because it is, when you talk about the numbers and the report outs and the people that we are able to, we're able to catch them in the act or filed on them, and we're able to secure awards because of the amount of illegal dumping, and they're caught in the act is really good. And every month we get those reports, and I enjoy reading them just because I see that the work that they're doing is working, and we see the numbers decreasing. you talked about the employees, that is very important when you look at the environmental, the health aspect of it, what they're having to pick up, what they're having to deal with. Our new contract with Republic Services is really giving us more hands-on educating and training our employees on different types of materials, how they should be handled. We're doing more training in-house in-house for employees on how they should handle these different materials. These are all trainings that will be implemented and put into FY 24 and our 25 budget, that we will see some of these improvements to the training for the employees and the staff, making sure they have uniforms. These are all things that we've implemented, that, they don't have to wear their regular clothes. They have a uniform now that a company will come in and wash and clean properly for different types of materials that they're having to touch, making sure they have gloves, making sure if they want face masks, whatever it is they're wanting, I want to make sure that the employees are safe in the work that they're doing. So those are a couple different things that we're doing in-house to improve the service. But the main thing is getting more employees in here that can do the work and increasing the number of crews that we're sending out. When I first started, we had literally one crew, 2 crews, if we were lucky, that were picking up bulk trash on a daily basis. And now we're back up seeing 4 and 5 crews, across the city, or 6 crews across the city. So we are making improvements in the streets department, in our hiring efforts, working with personnel and getting them in here and making sure we provide them with the education, the safety material equipment that they need, that they can do the job that is required of them as city employees providing this service. So I think that's all that I have, unless you all have specific questions that you're wanting me to answer. That's just kind of high level where we are with refuse and illegal dumping and bulk pickup.
Okay, do you all want to wait until EIU speaks, or do you want to ask questions now? It's your choice.
Well, if I have Bethany here, I just have a couple of questions for her, if that's possible.
That's fine. Okay,
All right.
so Vice Chair Balmer,
All right, Director Williams, I'm curious, the increase in employees, have you noticed that these are people who do not live in the city since of August 28th, that the governor changed the residential requirement? Are these mostly all non-city residents, or do you know?
So I've requested those numbers from personnel so that I can get a more hands-on. But once in the first month that we made the changeover, there were still a lot of city employees that were coming in. It was just, we've taken a different approach, how we're interviewing, how we're advertising for the jobs, where we're going to try to offer jobs. And I think that's why we're seeing the number of people that we're getting in. But I have requested that information so that I can see, and that's across the streets department as a whole, with this change in city residency, has that changed our employment numbers?
All right. Yeah, I think the Alderwoman Barr would like that, because I'm trying to request it of all the divisions, trying to see if this is working. And I hope it does. So yeah, if you give us those numbers when those are related to you. And the only other thing I have, having done this for quite some time, 80% of my phone calls, I talk trash. Is, and in this whole world of YouTube and video, has we ever considered actually doing a demonstration videos of, like, people don't understand with bulk trash that they're supposed to put it behind their house. What they do, as you well know, they stack it up around the dumpsters, and no one can get to the dumpsters. Then they don't want the trash behind their house. What actually goes in a recycling dumpster, and what does go in these dumpsters? I don't know what it would cost with STL TV to actually create YouTube videos that we could actually give to city residents and send to them and say, you're doing this wrong, and maybe eliminate a lot of the headache that we as aldermen go through now, our legislative assistants, and what your staff goes through. There's nothing worse than pulling up and seeing a dumpster full of Christmas trees, when the Christmas tree should not be in that dumpster. There's nothing worse than seeing tons of drywall that we know typically that some contractors throw in there. But for the most part, it is people who the bulk trash pickup. When you were talking about that, they don't understand that they're supposed to put it behind their own residence, and that's the number one thing I think would alleviate a lot of our tensions. And besides that, thank you very much for your service. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we have, we've been trying very hard to hire a PIO that will implement some of those educational pieces that you talk about. If you heard me, you know, educating of the staff, educating of the residents about what and how you're supposed to do this is very important. And so as soon as I can get a PIO in here that could, you know, orchestrate these videos, I'm not sure if my staff is, you know, video ready or they want to be on camera without us having to kind of twist an arm to say, please, please, please do videos, but to do some of the B footage of them out while they're driving their routes, maybe to see what should go in a dumpster. And that's one good thing about Republic Services with us bringing them on. They are able to provide us some of that background information. So that has been in place since July 1, that contract. And so what they're to give me by this month is a 6-month report. And that will show me target areas where I need to go in and do targeted education on how I can improve recycling in this area or improve the type of waste that they're putting in their dumpsters, which dumpster you should use, what goes in which dumpster. So they will be able to help me with some of that background data that we can work with Brightside as well as our city agencies to go out and educate the community on how to do these different waste services. And it's my hope that we will see an increase or decrease in the legal dumping and an increase in the proper trash cans and the proper dumping styles across the city. So that is something that we are working on. And so maybe I'll come to your ward and get some footage. Maybe you can be one for the video.
No worries. Now's the
Okay.
time to ask. We have money laying around we need to use. So let's use it for something like that.
Yes.
And we can hire some famous actors to help us, I'm sure.
Okay.
Some trash actors.
Yes. There's a lot of those out there.
Okay, anything else, Alderman Bauer?
No, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Thank you so much. First of all, I'm very offended that Alderman Vollmer has not seen the videos that I've started and feature about recycling and breaking down boxes in the city of St. Louis, because I will send them to you. But yeah, I know Brightside's been doing a lot of these videos, but yeah, more information to people is so important. I know that Alderman Vollmer absolutely hit the nail on the head when he talked about how people do bulk pickup. So you talked about some of the problems that we have with, what is dumping? Is it just missed bulk pickup or is it dumping? And, I did a ride along last year, I guess, with some of the bulk drivers and, did the bulk pickup with them. And, they're loading things into the back of basically an open truck that then compacts the items. And while that happens, a cloud of whatever is in those items comes out of the truck and right into your face. So like I was covered in I don't even know what I was covered in after that. So I think that's a really important thing for people to know when they're putting out their bulk trash, just because someone will be picking this up. So if you're putting out something that is going to, just break up on people or be very dangerous, think twice before you put out those things. We do have the ability to take items to the dump, as you pointed out, 12 times a year. That's a huge service that St. Louis City offers. And I hope people take advantage of that, as well as learning, where to put out their bulk items and how and what will be happening with them and everything like that. The issue that I think happens so often is the rehabbers that are just putting items in in the trash bins and, having a quick response from the building division and our neighborhood improvement specialist when that happens. I think one of the CSB issues that can be kind of problematic for something like this is that there's so many departments that might need to be tagged in when a bulk um, pickup is flagged. If it's something like a rehab or putting a bunch of things in there, that needs to go to the streets, but it also needs to go to the building division. Um, I know from kind of seeing the back end of CSB, in those cases, you can put an at and direct the CSB request to whoever you need to. So when you're going through those bulk items, I guess, what does that back end look like from your department to communicate to the various other divisions that are or departments that will be necessary to make sure that the right action is happening.
It's taken. So our CSB reports, they come in, the ones that we see are the ones that have been marked streets department. Debris pickup, or it could be bulk, or if it's marked for illegal dumping, then it goes to the investigation unit, and then that's where they start their process of investigating. We have staff here that some of our leadership team will go out and do some ride arounds just to see if it's really, is this just regular bulk pickup, or is it something that needs to be reassigned to the investigation unit? So we're starting some of those things. We're kind of coming out of the pandemic, getting more staff in, just kind of getting our footing again as a department. And so our leadership is able to spend more time looking at CSBs, evaluating it, sending crews out to say, hey, this is really illegal dumping, or no, this is bulk pickup that has just been out for a number of weeks. So we're able to work behind the scene and reassign it to different departments or where it needs to go. I like that aspect about the building division. I'm not too sure or clear on what is our communication with the building division. I'm not going to say that they don't have any, but it's just never has had to rise to my level where, I hear about the communication with the building division. But I think that I made note of that, that we, when we see a lot of construction debris and things of that nature, we inform them of what's happening in, the area. I don't know how you track it back to an address or a home, but you can at least know that you have construction companies that's doing work, and this is what we're seeing in the dumpsters.
Yeah, I appreciate that because, if it's really a team effort to get these actions to stop, sometimes that's going to involve a lot of different departments and enforcement mechanisms, whether it's the environmental investigation unit, or if you think about the lawsuit that was just filed against Dara Dougherty, I think is how you pronounce her name. She had properties all over South St. Louis and was basically a slumlord and causing all sorts of issues. And the number of complaints on each of those houses, is staggering. So you think about the relationship between all the different pieces that had to come together to build a case. I feel like the illegal dumping is such a huge part of it. When you think about, in my ward, occasionally it'll happen, very sadly, if someone gets evicted, and they clear either the landlord or someone's clearing the entire apartment onto the street. And that's a huge red flag for what's happening in that space. And the more, people are cross-trained on those things happening in our city, I think the faster the enforcement can happen for folks. And so, yeah, I think, I don't know if that's, I've talked about this also with some of the forestry issues, because we've talked, with high weeds around vacant property goes to forestry, but it needs to go to building division because they need to, that's the first thing that triggers a vacant property. And we have this fee that we can put on vacant properties. every 6 months a $500 fee that should be being collected, and it's something, you all know how much vacant buildings cost the city of St. Louis. So we need to be collecting those fees when these buildings become vacant.
Right.
So, I just sometimes wonder how those back end connections are happening so that the city can, again, move through enforcement mechanisms, and as well as find these bad actors and make sure it's not just like we're not seeing the forest through the trees or whatever that saying is. We're seeing kind of one thing they're doing, but really it's this whole big story. Yeah. And yeah, I appreciate your time being here and the effort to focus on this. I do feel like pickup has improved in my neighborhoods. I hear less complaints. I do. And I try to give 3 refuse facts every time I'm in community meetings about all of these things. I do think the community information really helps folks. So I appreciate your time and for coming here today, and looking forward to hearing from the rest of the speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderwoman Schweitzer. Alderwoman Saulnier.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Williams, just for being here and for your work. I think I got to come in on the later end, so I really, I've heard from constituents that they see an increase in services and feel like they've been getting, more responsiveness. And you do an excellent job at being very responsive. I don't know how you manage all the things, but whenever I reached out to you, you've always been directly responsible. So just thank you for being here with us today, and no questions at this time.
Thank you so much. And I definitely will share this with the staff. October is my anniversary. So this past October, I sat down and I just started really trying to reflect on what we have achieved and some of the changes. And so I asked the commissioners to give me some of that information. And so it's good when I can share feedback with them so that they know it's being seen, what they're doing, and they feel appreciated, and employees, they want to come to work and they're happy about being city employees, and just building that morale again with the streets department is something that I've really been trying to work hard on. So when I get these compliments, I'm really wanting to share them with the staff so that they can hear them and accept them. So I thank you for that.
Okay, the questions that, I don't have questions.
Mhm.
I was kind of piggybacking off of what Alderwoman Schweitzer was saying. And so over in our area, one thing that we started doing was when they have the good thing is I have residents that are working with me because it's so much area to cover. And so they kind of work with me on tag team. So I pretty much have them educated to the point where send it to CSB, give me the number, send me pictures, and then we work it from there. So you have a supervisor, Mike, with Bulk, and he is superb. He's very caring. He's really trying to improve the issue in regards to the bulk pickup and making sure things are picked up. We have some hot spots, and I think, and it'll probably be for Richard when he comes on, the challenge that I'm seeing, people are now at a point, Bethany, that they feel that cameras will solve everything. And they won't, because now the dumpers are getting smarter. And so they have the hoodies on now with the mask on, and then they have trucks or whatever with no license plates or they're covered. But what they don't know is in our community now, people are really becoming diligently, and they're watching out for their alleys, especially my seniors, and God love them. So they'll let me know they come at this time, Alderwoman, and this was going on. So we can kind of pinpoint. And so what you had said, I don't know if it was Alderman Balmer or Alderwoman Schweitzer that said that people are cleaning their houses out, apartment buildings and stuff. So those seniors know those addresses. And so they're giving us the address. Well, this the address where they dumping the stuff because they clean this house out, they put these people out. Or this the address where the mom is sending the kid out to take the trash and they can't reach the dumpster, so the trash is on the side of the dumpster. So I think those are things that are we need to really work on. I like the idea with the video, and maybe we can get an actor or somebody. We can get somebody to say, you know, this the video, and I'm pretty sure Operation Brightside has something to talk about that. So in regards to building, I think you all are doing better with the building inspectors, because when I do EIU, when I send something to them, I usually send it to Refuge, the building division, and to EIU. So everybody kind of looks out for each other. So I think that's improving. I think we're starting to see some light, because it was like we were drowning. But I just think that I was glad you said you got uniforms. And so that made me good, because just like I don't get calls from the residents like I did, I don't get calls from Refuge like I did. So, I mean, that's good. I was like, okay, we making a move. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. And I just look for us to keep going upward and not backward.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Is Richard, you want to go next?
Sure, it sounds good. Can you guys see me? Is my camera on?
Uh-huh.
Okay. First of all, thanks for having me. Good morning. I just wanted to mention a couple things first before I forget. I think the video Alderman was speaking about would be a great idea, because I do think there's a lot of misinformation out there about what is bulk, where it goes, when it goes out, what kind of trash can go in dumpsters, what can go in recycling. I personally see all kinds of things that are in the wrong dumpsters every day, and it's not always just criminal. It's people just not knowing what goes where. And also I think it'd be a good idea to kind of maybe show people on camera where these dump sites are for their uses for their 12 times a year, because I think people might be a little intimidated going down to a landfill, you know, not a landfill, but a transfer station. They may see garbage trucks going in and out, and they may not think that they're allowed to go down there. So if we do a little video showing, hey, here you go, here's the guy you meet, you're going to show him your ID and you're going to drop your stuff off here, I think that'll ease some of the people's anxiety about dropping stuff off. I know from the South Transfer Station, we have our firearms range down there, and the guys tell me a lot of people go down there and they stop and they turn around because they don't know where to go. So that stuff right there probably goes and gets dumped in an alley somewhere. So maybe if we kind of videotape, you know, where those are and how we do it, that might help out a little bit. But I think the video idea is very, very good idea. 2023, I'll just go over a couple quick numbers. EIU issued 470 summonses with 563 charges. We handled 1,297 Citizen Service Bureau complaints. We issued $4,200 in witness rewards. I just did those last week, so those checks should be going out this year. I'm sorry, this week or next week. And we did, let's see, 5,600 hours of community service were rendered out to defendants that were found to be guilty. It was a 99% issue rate by the city attorney's office on all dumping cases. Currently, we have about 277 cameras out on the street. There's a couple that we have that are in for repair, or we've got that are being relocated, so they may not be out. About 15 to 20 of those are the new cameras, which are the remote cameras that are monitored by me. remotely from my iPad. I can tap into them live from anywhere. We are looking to purchase another 200 of those. I've been working with Ms. Williams on that. We want to get 200 more cameras of those. We also need to purchase the data that goes along with that, because those are all cellular cameras. So you have to include the data when thinking about purchasing when you include 200 cameras like that, you also have to think about all the data that it's going to take up downloading pictures. And then also the mounting hardware I've got a bid for to mount those on the poles. So I've got all that together. I've sent it to Miss Williams. We're also looking to purchase a bucket truck exclusively for EIU. This would help us out tremendously in the aspect of getting these installed quicker. Right now, we have to share a truck with a couple other units, and it's not always available to us, or it's in the shop. It's a little older. So that really delays us in getting these cameras up. If I had something available to me full time, I could get these cameras up a lot quicker. I could relocate them a lot quicker. I could repair them a lot quicker. So that would be something that could really help us out. And of course, having another person would be ideal, but I know that's limited in manpower issues all over the city. I think some of the challenges that we're facing right now are just with the limited amount of daylight. Some of the guys are dumping at night, and the cameras aren't as great at night just because of the reflection off the license plate. If there's no lighting in the alleys, the cameras don't get a great picture of the license plate. So during the wintertime, it's a little bit more difficult to get license plate pictures. But that's one of the challenges we're dealing with right now. Always is people, they know the cameras are out there, so they're covering the license plates up, like Ms. Boyd said. They're disguising themselves, hoodies and masks. Some of the alleys are a little bit getting overgrown, so that presents a challenge of the just harder for the cameras to see. I have been trimming those back myself when we get a chance, if we use a truck, trying to get the debris cleared from in front of the cameras so they can take clear pictures. Other than that, everything's been operating pretty smoothly. We haven't been running into any issues. I think everything's going pretty well. Is there any questions?
Alderman Balmer, do you have any questions?
No, thank you very much, Rich, for all your hard work. I appreciate man out there alone against the world.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Switzer?
Thank you so much. I appreciate the information. I'd love to talk a little bit more about the process for, what gets someone to be, or what people can need to do in order to help with convictions on these dumping issues and help you to do the job better. What do you want citizens to know, and what should we be sharing with people?
Well, the best way is through the Citizen Service Bureau. That's probably where we get most of our witness information. And the most important part is including the phone number on there, because if there's no phone number, we have no way of finding out anything else about the call, about what's going on. Even if they leave their name, it's going to be tough for us to get a phone number on someone. We don't have a magical database where we can just look up a phone number with a name, unless they've been in a police report recently with our new system. We probably don't have a phone number on them. So that's my number one thing. Put a phone number, put a first name. They don't even have to put a last name, and include pictures if they can, on that Citizen Service Bureau complaint. And if they want to be a witness, which hopefully they do, great, because those always lead to a summons. If they want to be a witness and they have pictures, it's going to be a summons, and we're going to be able to get that guy, and hopefully that person get their $100 when that person goes to court.
Got it. And I think some of the information about the people who are hard to see, or if the license plate is covered, any information that people should be especially looking out for, trying to get photos of, what do people need to have in hand to help you? Because they might not, probably won't know who they are.
Right. I mean, pictures of the vehicle or license plates are the best evidence. And then after that, just pictures of what the debris is, or just a description of what the debris is.
Okay. Yeah, I think this is one of those moments too, where sometimes the easiest ones are when it's obvious, like a house is being rehabbed and there's a bunch of
Mhm.
stuff coming out of that house, or it's around the corner. So I think it's like, you know, Citizens Academy, like how to know, what to look out for, what
Right.
clues are we looking for? Yeah, but the cameras have certainly been helpful in some areas, and I really appreciate you've been so helpful in so many cases in my ward. We've had some, you and I worked on one in the patch that was kind of never ending, and I feel like it's gotten like calm, and so it's just the outcomes that we all really want clean alleys. So I know it's a ton of work, but I hope you know what a difference it makes to people to have someone who's going to show up for them and help with these huge issues. So thank you for being that person.
Absolutely.
Okay, Alderwoman Sonia, I was reading the comments, that's why I was slow.
Just thank you for your work. No questions at this time.
Okay, so the question that I have is because I hear what you're saying, and the boat guys and I had talked about it, and Refuge had talked about it before. I know the cameras, there were certain spots, we have cameras. And they're hot spots. And so are you all any success in finding out or picking up anything on those cameras in regard, because, and I just want it to be publicly known, and Richard probably testify to this. It's not bulk stuff that's dumping, they're dumping. And so it's like they're filling the rollouts with trash, no bags, and dumping them around the dumpsters. And I have residents that go out there and they get so aggravated because when they lift the lid, it's nothing in the dumpster. So is it are the cameras picking up anything on that? Have you had any success? Because it's one spot. It's like every week the debris team is over there cleaning that up, and then you come back and it's like it never was touched. So I'm just trying to find out on the cameras, are you picking up anything from those hot spots?
Yeah, any of the spots that the cameras stay at, we're definitely picking up activity all the time. Now, the problem is if the people are on foot without a vehicle, much harder to identify. If so, an issue that once I took this job over, I didn't realize was such a big problem was trash cans becoming full and then people coming through and emptying the trash cans looking for stuff and creating such a big mess. I never knew that was really a problem until I saw it on camera happen so often.
Yeah.
And so that's a major problem when scrappers come by and they decide that they're gonna empty the stuff out of the trash, or maybe homeless or what have you. But yeah, we're catching a lot. Everything's caught on camera. It's some things are just so hard to identify. An individual that's just walking down the street, the cameras, it's not video, so it's going to pick up movement. It's going to take two pictures of that person entering the frame. It's going to take a picture of them maybe picking something up or dropping something off. And then it's going to take another picture of them like walking out of the frame. So what really did they do while they were there is hard to tell, especially if there's already a mess in that alley. And then how do we find that person? without a vehicle attached it's kind of our issue. That's where trying to keep the alley clean all the time really comes in handy, because when we have a fresh start like that, we can see, okay, there's nothing there. This person enters the frame. They drop off a bag of trash right here. We know who that is. Now we can go into that area, look for that person or ask around and know who that person is. Whereas before, somebody dropping off a bag of trash amongst a whole pile of trash is a lot harder to, figure out. Um, but yeah, it's not really necessarily just a bulk item here or a bulk item there. It's gonna be a whole U-Haul full of things. People rent U-Hauls.
Right.
That presents a big challenge for us, because then we have to, U-Haul doesn't want to just hand over information to us. They want a subpoena from the courts to give us the renter's information on that. And, somebody moves out, they'll dump the entire contents of a U-Haul on a vacant lot, or the entire contents of a U-Haul full of tires.
Right.
That's more investigative work that takes extra time that we it just takes a little bit longer to do, and we get it done. We've written hundreds of U-Haul cases, but getting back to your question, I think the hotspots, it's a case by case kind of situation. We are catching people on those hotspots. It's just, do they have a vehicle with them? What are they dropping off? Are the residents in that area, are they giving us any information about what they're seeing? Or is there any residents around there? Some of these, dumpsters are in areas where there's maybe only one house that's inhabitable there. So they're not seeing anything. There's no witnesses at all. It's an empty alley, and it's a prime spot for dumpers. So
on your staffing, how many, and for the public to know, how much manpower do you have? Because that was always a challenge for you all.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
I said, on regards to staff, how many do you all have actually? Because I know you have a lot of people that volunteer to work and they do the overtime, but how many actual staff do you have?
I'm the only full-time detective for EIU.
Say
At
that
all.
one more time, Richard, so they can hear you.
I'm the only full-time trash task force EIU officer on the police department. So I'm the
Okay,
only person that does it every day when I come into work. Now I have 10 to 14 people that monitor cameras. Now they're on the calendar as 10 to 14 people, but some people haven't worked in weeks. They give me time when they can, when they want a few more hours on their check, they'll go check a few cameras. Now I have people that consistently give me 4 to 6 hours a week, 8 to 10 hours a week. That's 3 to 4 guys, and they're checking their cameras. I've got a guy that has 24 cameras. That's all he does is check his cameras. And
okay,
he writes the most summonses out of anybody on this police department. So that's all I want him to do is to check cameras. So yeah, I'm the only guy that does it full time. I've got some great guys to help me out, but I'm at the mercy of their schedule.
right. And I just wanted people to hear that, because I just think that people think that you all have a team of people and you don't. And so the Board of Aldermen had pushed for you all to hire people, but like you said, nobody's running to get the job. So it's just you trying to make things happen. So I appreciate it. Okay, so on that note, does anybody else have any questions or anything? We do have a quorum, so did we have meetings prior to this? Because I was trying to read. Yeah, approval of minutes for December the 7th.
Yeah, we need to take a vote on that.
Yes, ma'am. Could we get a motion?
I move to adopt the minutes of December 7th, 2023.
Second.
Okay, would you call the roll, please?
Alderman Vollmer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Tyus, Alderwoman Switzer,
Aye.
Alderwoman Sanye,
Aye.
Chair Boyd.
Aye.
We have 4 aye votes.
Thank you. I want to thank Bethany Williams and Richard. I'm keep calling you Richard because I do not want to mess up your last name. So Richard Z, I mess people names up. But I want to thank you all. I think we got some ideas out of this. And so it's maybe something we can use, and then maybe we can reach out to Operation Brightside to see if they have anything in their videos that could help us. But that was a great idea. So maybe we could look at that. So thank you all. I appreciate you. We'll look forward to talking to you again. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it.
Motion to
Uh,
adjourn. Motion
Thank
to
you.
adjourn.
Yeah, I was like, look, my vice chair keep me on track. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
But Ms. Boyd, are
Second,
we excusing, I'm
previous
sorry,
roll.
Ms. Boyd.
No,
Sorry. Hello?
excuse the, yeah, you're right. So, could we have excused, all the people, Alderwoman Tyus? Now a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, previous roll.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Good one, thank
everybody.
you.
Bye-bye.